Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So the capsule wardrobe seems to be this new buzzword everyone's talking about. Both regular people and also influencers and bloggers are trying this whole wardrobe system to not only really nail that wardrobe and build a wardrobe that brings them more joy, but also to bring down your consumption of new clothing. So this video is not about how to be perfect or how to build a perfect capsule wardrobe, because there's no such thing. There's nothing in life that will ever be perfect. We all make mistakes. I've even made some mistakes along the way, and I'm hoping that we can learn something from each other. I think that especially when you're talking sustainability, whether that being in terms of fashion or anything really, a phrase you often hear people say is, it's better to do something than to do nothing at all. And I couldn't agree more with this phrase. I do also believe that we shouldn't make it an excuse to not try at all, if that makes sense. When you want to break a bad habit, it will take some effort from you, maybe even some sacrifice. And it will be a bit tough, especially in the beginning, but that's what you really need to strive through if you want to make long-term change, I think. If you're trying to break out of a habit, it will always be hard, but don't be too hard on yourself, be gentle, enjoy the ride, and try to keep a great balance. So without any further ado, let's have a look at these 6 tips that I want to share with you today. Things to avoid when you're building a capsule wardrobe, or basically any wardrobe. So the first thing to avoid when you're building your dream wardrobe is to not dress for real life. Lots of people seem to focus on defining your style as the very first step of building your dream wardrobe, or a wardrobe that brings you more joy. And I agree with this. It's very important to kind of define your own style and learn to understand what that means. But it's also very much about the lifestyle that you're living, so it kind of has to fit together. I know that I talk highly about using social media as a way to find inspiration for outfits so that you can be creative with what you already have in your wardrobe. I do this myself all the time. So it's simply not enough that an outfit looks great in a photo on Pinterest. It has to be suitable for real life as well. For example, if you see a picture of someone wearing a great outfit with a pair of really high heels, that might look great in a photo. It might look like it elongates your legs and everything, but does that really suit your lifestyle? Does it suit your standards of comfort? Would it really apply to your real life? That's the questions that you need to ask yourself when you're looking for inspiration. So I guess to sum up this first mistake to avoid, try not to compare yourself with unachievable standards on social media. It's very important that whatever you use as inspiration for your own life is something that suits you as well. Otherwise, it won't last in the long run. The second mistake that you want to avoid when building a capsule wardrobe is to copy someone else's capsule wardrobe completely. So I've been sharing my own capsule wardrobes a lot over the years here on my channel, and I just like to say that just because my capsule wardrobes might look a certain way, it doesn't mean that your own capsule wardrobe has to look completely like that. That applies to, for example, something like colors. I know that my capsule wardrobes are generally very colorless. The main thing and the most important thing is that whatever you have in your wardrobe makes you happy and makes you feel good, because again, otherwise it won't last in the long run and you'll keep on adding things to your wardrobe that in the end won't make you happy. So you have to, again, figure out what your style is, what kind of colors you like, what kind of fits you like. And when it comes to colors, there are a lot of color guides here on YouTube. I've never really done one myself because, again, I love the very neutral and monochrome color scale. So it's just never felt that natural for me to be doing a lot of guides including a lot of colors, but I will link some of my favorites down below, because like I said, there are a lot of guides here on YouTube already. So if you are one who loves colors, there's a lot of help for you on the internet. So speaking of copying someone else's capsule wardrobe, the same thing actually applies to the number of items that you have in your wardrobe. Usually I end up between 35 to 40 items in my own capsule wardrobe, including my basic wardrobe and my seasonals. But this might be different for you. You might feel the need to have way less items in your wardrobe, to have less options. If you feel more comfortable with that, maybe you'd like to have a little bit more. It's very individual and you need to sort of play around with it to figure out where the magic number is for you. So let's jump to number 3, which is all about retail therapy. What do I mean by retail therapy? I mean buying things out of impulse when you're feeling down, when you're stressed, or just, simply out of emotions. I made a guide a couple of years back now, I think, with my top tips on how to avoid impulse shopping. So I'll be going over what kind of emotions you're going through and how you can handle these accordingly instead of turning to retail therapy and consuming your way out of these problems, because we all know that at the end of the day this won't sort the root of these problems. And I think we can all agree on this, because this is something I've tried myself in the past as well, when I used to be sort of a shopaholic. When you buy something out of impulse or something to make you feel better, it's not always that you end up actually being happy with this item. I'm not saying that it can happen, because I'm sure that it can, especially if it's an item that you've been thinking about for a long time anyway. But I'd like to focus on the fact that if you're feeling down, there might be some other reason for that. And in order to feel better in the long run, you want to find what the root of the problem is, and again, not consume your way out of those problems. The fourth mistake to avoid when building a capsule wardrobe is to avoid getting carried away by sales. And I'm speaking out of experience here, because this is something that I've done a lot of times in the past as well. I used to be all about those sales racks, and I would kind of compromise with my own true style just because it was right there and it was reduced in price. It was really cheap. I don't have anything against buying an item on sale that you've been thinking about adding to your wardrobe anyway, but really be honest to yourself. Is this something that you're really missing in your wardrobe? Is this something that you're gonna be using a lot of times over and over again? And if not, then it's probably best to just leave it there. I actually made a video recently called Sustainable Style on a Budget, where I speak a bit more about sales and how to enjoy sales responsibly. So if you want to check out that video after watching this one, I'm gonna link it right here in the cards and in the description box down below. So the thing with sale items that are a problem is that often these are very trend-based kind of items, so they're designed with an expiration date. So that means that at some point you'll probably end up getting tired of this item anyway, or otherwise you might compromise on your own true style, like I've done a lot of in the past, just to save money, and it's not really a way to build a long-lasting wardrobe. Number 5 mistake is buying too many of the same item, so kind of like repeat buying. The simple answer to this is probably buy it right the first time. I know we probably all have items in our wardrobes that, every time we're out in a shop or on a web shop, we just seem to get drawn to that very item. I feel that way personally with blue jeans, white t-shirts, and red and striped tops. I seem to always get drawn to these sort of items, and I have enough of these in my wardrobe already, but I kind of feel that attraction and I don't really know why. I'm sure that many of you can relate to this very thing, and I'd be intrigued to hear what your item is down below. So let me know what kind of item you always seem to be drawn to when you're shopping. And sometimes it can be okay to have a backup of the same item, especially if we're talking like a white t-shirt, because when one white t-shirt is in the wash, then you can wear one of the others. I think sometimes we tend to buy the same item over and over again because we're not fully satisfied the first time. So it's really about digging into what kind of brand you like, what kind of fit you like, and then buy it right the first time. I've had trouble with this myself, especially jeans that I've bought on the internet. And as an example, I'm gonna mention Armed Angels, which is one of my absolute favorite sustainable brands. So the first time I bought a pair of jeans from Armed Angels, I used their size guide and everything to make sure that I bought the right pair and the right size. But then when I got the jeans, they were actually more stretchy than I thought they were going to be, so they were actually a bit too big for me. So I decided to return them and then order another pair in a smaller size. Then I got the new pair of jeans and they fit like a dream. So now I know Armed Angels, I know their sizes when it comes to jeans, and I'll probably stick with that, especially when it comes to shopping on the internet, because one of the big sinners when it comes to sustainability is returns. So we're returning way too much clothing and it's actually very harmful for the environment. So I know that I contributed to this myself, but I still think that it's better to return something straight away if you don't like it, if it doesn't fit you, than to hold on to it, because then again, you will just be on the search for another item in that same category because you didn't buy it right the first time. So that's the whole problem here. Obviously, you could try going for physical stores instead of shopping online, especially if you find it hard to find the right size and the right fit. But if you're anything like me and you prefer going for sustainable brands, which we don't have anything of in the local shops in my area, internet shopping is just the solution for me right now. And then I'm just crossing my fingers that the local shops will carry a larger stock of sustainable items in the future. So the final mistake to avoid is following too many trends. So this, combined with maybe not having nailed your basic wardrobe completely, is a very bad combo. So let's just have a look at what a capsule wardrobe really means. And I'm just gonna read from Wikipedia here. A capsule wardrobe is a collection of a few essential items of clothing that don't go out of fashion, such as skirts, trousers, and coats, which can then be augmented with seasonal pieces. So that's also why the biggest part of my own wardrobe is my basic wardrobe. And I always like to say that around 80% of my own wardrobe is my basics that more or less always stay the same all throughout the year. And then I have a little section of my wardrobe that are more seasonals, that fit the season. Maybe I do follow a few trends just to keep everything fresh, but usually I like to thrift these items, or I like to bring items out from storage. So really just items from previous seasons that I kind of shop among my own things. But following too many trends and kind of have them taking over your wardrobe without having a good base is definitely a bad cocktail. So you'll probably end up having way too many options. You'll end up struggling styling up these trend-based items that you have in your wardrobe, and in worst case ending up not reaching for these items at all because they're not really making you happy, you don't really like them that much. And that's sort of the whole problem with the fashion industry at the moment. We buy way too many items that we don't really like, and then they'll just end up hanging in our closet and we'll run out, buy some new things. So yeah, definitely following too many trends is something you need to be careful with when you're building a capsule wardrobe. So I think that is all of the mistakes I wanted to include in this video. I might come up with some more as we go along. If so, I will write them in the comment section down below. Please feel free to write any other mistakes that you'd recommend people to try to avoid, or something that you've tried yourself, something you're maybe still struggling with, and then I'll see if I can help you guys. So if you'd like to see how I style up my capsule wardrobe on a daily basis, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave as well. And then I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.